Hi, this is Regina White Favors coming to you with Rebound Relationship Special Topics. This is part of my Life Rebound and Recovery series where I explore particular trending topics and also just everyday relationship topics. Take some time to listen to this audio discussion, maybe gain some insight. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I will respond. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification button if you're interested in further topics. This is Rebound Relationship Special Topics. Thank you very much for visiting the channel. So the reason why I'm not going your way is because I'm not willing to date down, right? That a lot of times people will choose right now because maybe they feel inconvenienced due to a previous relationship ending. And so what people do when they are wounded, they tend to pull at someone, they tend to clutch at someone, they tend to use someone as a crutch. And they are that person for right now. They fulfill certain needs: emotional, companionship, psychological, financial, definitely sexual needs. Well, it's better to sort of wait because when you date down, you bring your own status down as an individual, as a person on the marriage market or on the sex market. So when right is better than right now, it's much easier for you to wait for right than to just indulge in multiple right nows. I'm not cutting corners. That's why I'm not interested in going your way. I'm not willing to cut corners. So that means that conscientiousness is important. Conscientiousness, and I'm not saying consciousness like in terms of awareness. Conscientiousness means being hardy in your understanding, being organized, being focused, having grit to stay the course, not willing to give up so easily. If you find yourself cutting corners in one area of your life, it might spill in another area of your life, even if you're not intending to, and even if you have a very good work ethic. You know, relationships do take work, and people don't understand that it takes some time to get over offenses, and it takes some time to think about the vision of the relationship, and it takes some time to think about your part, the role you're going to play. And cutting corners is essentially cheating, and it's essentially not being a completer. And so conscientiousness, you stay the course, you endure to the end. That's why we have so many marriages breaking up, because people are technically not conscientious. Don't pick a person who does not care or who does not have a work ethic. Is going to show up somewhere, and it usually shows up in the finances. So I'm not cutting corners. I'm not willing to cut corners. I'm not willing to thrive in procrastination. So I'm not going your way because I'm not willing to thrive in procrastination. Well, setback is too much to handle. The thing about procrastination, and I, tell my students this a lot of times, I used to be the queen of procrastination. I wrote an essay on it. I thrived in it. Of course, it was a false thrive. It wasn't something that was truly reflective of productivity. I was just procrastinating and waiting to the very last minute. Well, when you procrastinate, it sets you back. Then you have a setback. And then you don't easily get out of a setback just because you become aware that you are a setback. Because you have to remember, if you are in a setback, you missed a lot of the learning opportunities that were necessary to move you forward. So the procrastination, although you might have gotten some stuff done at the end of, at the last minute, you still are missing the learning that you would have accumulated and then developed along the way had you just managed your tasks. So setback is too much to handle, because then when you endure when you are faced with a setback, you have to think about the setback. That means that you have failed a course. That means you have to pass that course. And just like with school, when you fail a course, you have to retake that course. And along with that course, you have to take new courses at the same time. Okay, that's a lot to balance, especially when maybe it was a relationship that failed and you are struggling with the emotions of it and the psychology of it, or the setback might have been something that had your finances, lack of management of your finances as a main contributor. So now you have to pull yourself up, and usually when that happens, it always has something to do with your shelter costs, right? You're so busy trying to save someone over here that you have problems with your rent. You have problems with your basic necessities. So I'm not going your way is I'm not willing to procrastinate like you do. That I am a person of focus and purpose, and I need to get things done, and I don't have time to put up with a person who does not want to get things done. I'm not pulling you up without your own effort. This is something that I have struggled with in my past when I was a people pleaser. That is, people, you need to challenge people to do what they need to do for themselves and not take on their responsibility. Because if you look at their responsibilities and you take 2 or 3 people and you put their responsibilities on your back, it's like carrying a bunch of baggage, literally carrying a bunch of suitcases. And then you have your responsibility, the things that you have to do for yourself, and it's just not worth it. So it's important that if I'm going to help you, you need to at least initiate some kind of effort on your own. I shouldn't really be your inspiration. That there should have been something on the inside of you that was already thinking about that thing, and then you sort of started some part of it, but you got stuck. And now you need maybe like a little bit of guidance, a little bit of clarification on maybe how to develop a strategy. But I shouldn't do the whole thing for you. And I used to have that problem. I would run myself down while I was in college, and I would go and get the applications and do all the stuff that the person should be doing themselves. If you don't want to go get the job application, that tells me that you don't want a job. So it's important to let someone pursue their own responsibility. You cannot manage them forever. You will never be able to manage your own life. So I'm not pulling you up without your own effort. I'm not pushing for vengeance. So you may be a vengeful person because of something that someone did to you in the past. And so you take that kind of strategy to every relationship. So the littlest thing that I might do to you, you feel like you got to get revenge on me. And then if I bite and do what you do, you have pulled me into your type of thinking, your type of way of making life work for you. Well, I can't live in vengeance, and I had to learn that. I have one example from my own past where I lived in where I did something. God had already worked something out on my behalf with a roommate, and I turned around and I went back and messed it up, and then we ended up having a fight. And that was I wasn't in high school. I mean, I was like in my early 20s, and me as an adult having a fight, that was dumb. And so I regretted that situation, because usually when you go back and take vengeance, it's a lot of things that you feel or unsaid, that the person didn't get, and you feel like you need to go on ahead and just reinforce whatever it is that you were trying to say. But you also have to remember that if you didn't say it in that moment, you got to make a decision that I'm just going to have to let that go. I should have said it in the moment. That goes back to your core values. That goes back to your strategies for living. If you are a passive aggressive person, then you are going to have problems, right? You are going to have the types of problems where people are going to run over you and you don't know how to address your issues. So if passive aggressiveness is something that you struggle with, that's something that you need to begin thinking about, how to assert yourself in maybe small things, and then how to assert yourself in larger things. Well, the same strategy goes for a person who is hyper aggressive. They always got to get loud. They always have to get animated. They always have to tell you off, tell you about yourself, put you in your place. Okay, that is exhausting. Putting people in their places all the time is exhausting. Some things you just got to let go. And when there is a season to say something, say it. Do it with respect, do it with humility. Don't be prideful, but if you see that somebody is trying to get over on you, take them to the side, have a conversation, have a talk with them, and then let it go. And you also have to make a decision that if you are always taking vengeance on somebody in that relationship, you may need to consider ending or concluding that relationship. You should not have a relationship where it takes all of your energy uh, to pursue vengeance all the time, every incident. So I'm not willing to go your way, in the sense that I'm not willing to push for vengeance. I would rather just let you go altogether. I'm not entering a dating rotation. So I said this earlier at the beginning of this audio, that the ongoing trend now is uh, men and women operating, exercising, employing a dating rotation, as if they are employing all of these different people. So you might hear a man say, I got a woman who cooks for me, I got a woman who gives me some money, I got a woman who gives me some sex, I mean some really, really kinky sex, I got a woman who just wants to cuddle, I got a woman I can go out on a date with. But in all respects, all the women have sex. When it comes to a woman who has a dating rotation, it's usually not always about sex. It's always about someone going to the movies, some little companionship, cooking maybe for them, but also getting money. And so to keep them in like a lifestyle, they want the best clothes. They want to look like a Kim Kardashian every day, a Nicki Minaj every day, right? They want to look like these individuals. They want to get lip injections. They want to get their face done. They want to get their nails done. They want to get the butt injections. They want to get the lipo. So they want a sugar daddy to pay for all that. And so they may have multiple sugar daddies on deck. They may have one other type of guy or something like that who they don't really care too much about, but tends to be very good to them. But again, that's exhausting too. I'm not entering a dating rotation. I'm unique. I'm not common. Common means that I'm just like everybody else. And so unique means I'm the exception to the rule. I would rather be the exception to the rule. The problem with that, though, is that some people think to themselves, they automatically go to this idea, well, what about sex? Don't you want to have sex? And what about this? You don't want a man? No one said that I didn't want a man, or no other woman. But you have, 10 dates a year, and you may sleep with maybe 5 or 6 of those people a year. That's a lot. That's a big body count. That's why I never really dated, because, in some ways, to my benefit, because I've never had a lot of partners, and also to my detriment, because I didn't learn about game. Regardless, however, I still don't want the high body count. So I would rather be unique and just wait. I'm not contributing to being a rebound, so that's something that I've also struggled with. Uh, Awareness is important. That's the consciousness. Uh, that I didn't know that in a few of my relationships I was a rebound. And the reason why is because I, had come from a past where I was um, just wounded in my childhood from, different things. And so I was emotionally sleepwalking. And what ended up happening was I was attracting the people who looked like me, who might have been also wounded in their past and in their childhood, in their past, and never learned and never got healed, from situations. And so that's why I was able to, get into relationships where the person didn't really want me. They were really holding on to me until the person that they really wanted somebody, was able to get that person. And then once they got that person, they were able to let me go, right? And in some respect, when I look back on my own life, I never really done that like purposefully, but I do remember a situation where I had just broken up with a friend because the friend was just not doing me right, and I was beginning to really stand up for myself. And so once I broke up with that friend, I pulled at another person. I clutched. I used that other person for a crutch. Once I was kind of okay emotionally, I let the person go. And I didn't realize it until just maybe 10 years later, really, really just within the last year or two. And so I'm aware of it now. I'm careful about how I do people, treat people. I do not want to be treated that way anymore. And so therefore, I am really focused on my purpose and what I need to do for myself, get my life back in order, and I'm on the right track for that. So I don't want to contribute to being a rebound, and I don't want to contribute to seeking a rebound as well. I'm not cursing my end. So, when you go down the wrong path, you sort of end up cursing your end, right? That you make decisions for your end in the present. You get in the car with someone and you know that person always has drugs and a illegal gun, right? Unregistered gun. You know that's cursing your end, because if the police pulls you over and there are drugs in the car, everyone is going down. You decide to date a married man. Okay, he's your boyfriend, but he's married. Okay, you're cursing your end. I don't care about the fact that people have open relationships and all of these like alternative lifestyles and things like that. You are essentially cursing your end, that it's going to come back. It's scripture in the Bible. You reap what you sow. You go and take somebody else's somebody, it's going to happen to you as well. You may find that one person who you understand and he understands you, and you fall in love, for the very first time, and you forget about all those people you were taken from other people. And now you are in a marriage. Okay, well, that's going to happen. He may never cheat on you, but his job might take him away. She might never cheat on you, but she might put her family before you. And so vision is important. Life vision is important. And we don't really get a good understanding of that until we have made so many mistakes. But the people that a sign that we should have really been paying attention to it is the people that we call boring, that they're showing you what life is really about. Save your money, work on a job, save your money, put back for a house, put down a mortgage, get a house, be stable. We call them boring, but actually that is vision. And that is important because I'm not saying they don't have fun, but they understand the importance of having a shelter, having a job, having purpose in life, having vision in life. So I'm not cursing my end, because the end of a matter is better than its beginning. And that's something that you want to consider as you walk out your way, right? walk out your path, walk out your life. I'm not having indiscriminate sex. So solitude has its significance for me. Now, this may not apply to you. I'm not going to push something on you that does not apply to you. But having indiscriminate sex does not accomplish anything. You're not actually accomplishing anything. You're just having indiscriminate sex. And a lot of times when you get into the rhythm of having indiscriminate sex, you are also not accomplishing other things in your life because you're so busy trying to seek that particular rhythm to the point that you forget about the other things in life that are just as important, or probably more so. That sex is not a thing that is hidden from us anymore. It's not something that we cannot attain. Sex is not an exception to the rule. Sex is actually the rule now. That it used to be there was that one or two people in your high school who was having sex and they got pregnant or something like that, and we knew that they had sex, right? But now everybody's having sex. That's not a big issue anymore. So what I would challenge you to do and think about is solitude. That's where I am right now because of so many hurts and pains I never learned from, hurts and pains that have taken years to get over, hurts and pains that I didn't know that they were there, that cry, that wail that I didn't know was in me, that came out when I was triggered. And so right now I need to work on me. I need to work on me. I can no longer pursue toxic relationships. So for me, solitude has a lot of significance, and it is teaching me a lot about why I chose the wrong people. When that person came along, when I was wounded from something else, maybe like a failure of something, like I failed at something, and then I was so emotionally turned around because of it that I pursued like a situation, family issues, things like that. So solitude, the only thing I wish I could do is have a cabin in the woods on a lake with a rowboat on it all, and that would be life for me. But I'm not interested in having indiscriminate sex. I'm not interested in going your way in that regard. I'm not taking you into my house, and my house is my body. My house is also my mind. My house is my finances. My house is my emotions. When people enter you, there's something to really think about. When especially when it comes to a woman, when men enter, they deposit not just the semen, but they deposit their ideology, they deposit their theories, they deposit their hypotheses, they deposit their belief systems, their lies, their cheating, their strategy, their everything. They deposit a lot, and they deposit a baby. They can deposit an STD. They can deposit all different types of, situations. They want you to accept the fact that they are married, and you need to take the role of side piece or side chick, that you will never be their marital partner. So they want you to accept that. Well, that's entering your house, So my body, my mind, my heart, my finances, they belong to me. They do not belong to you. So I'm not willing to take you into my house. I'm not lying, cheating, stealing, gambling on me. And that's really what the dating rotation is about, or the situation with having open relationships about. People who are married wanting to have open relationships. Okay, if you want to be open, just don't be married. I don't understand that, but that's what they want to do. But that's also gambling on your future. There's somewhere down the line, there is a future you that is actually going to have a problem with that. It might show up in a health risk. It might show up in your mental. It might show up in your heart. It might show up as a heart attack. It might show up as a stroke. It might show up as you giving up on something. But it's going to show up. And that's what the truth is about the situation, that you are really lying to yourself. You're cheating on your future. You're stealing your future. You're gambling on your future. And if you don't understand any of the other areas of that first sentence, look at the word gambling and picture someone at the slot machine just continually putting in the quarters, pulling the lever, and hopefully, they are able to get the 3 cherries or something like that and get some money. That's what you're basically doing when you enter these types of relationships. So truth becomes more important. What is truth for you? Is truth still lying? Is it still cheating? Is it still stealing? Is it still gambling? When truth becomes more important. I'm not going your way. When you realize that you only have one life to live. And the thing is, it's important not to run your body down, run your heart down, run your mind down, run your finances down. Some of these people that you see on the streets, they have taken extreme strategies and measures in life. And now you're seeing the results and the consequences of those past decisions. I can see now that the decisions I made in my 20s are truly affecting me now in my 40s. And I don't really do a whole lot of regretting, but there are some things and some people I wish I had not encountered, period. There are some people who came along on my path that I did not seek for, but they recognized maybe some weakness, some emotion or issue in me, and they decided to gamble on that and play and use me, and I didn't know at the time that's what they were doing. And there are some decisions that I've made in my late 30s that I think to myself, I just cannot believe that I was still struggling with that particular issue. And everybody's issue is different. Everybody's issue is different. You just choose the issue that has crept up in your life, and you hear yourself say, I cannot believe I'm back here again. I cannot believe I let this happen again. And so whatever issue it is for you, you figured it out for you. But you only have one life to live, and you have every right to live that life. All right, so hopefully you were able to gain insight from this video discussion. Please like, subscribe, and visit. So please like the video, hit the notification bell for more discussions. I am re-uploading all of my audios, so I needed to make some changes to them. You can visit my website for more content at reginayfavors.com. If you want to send me an email, you can send an email, reginayfavors@yahoo.com. Please also purchase the book. It's going to come out in spring 2021. So I had to make changes to my book to update it, and I also updated the title. So the original title was Bait, Hook, and Switch, Confessions of a Rebound Girl, and I have updated the title to Toxic Encounters, Why People Pursue Rebound Relationships. So right now I'm still basically editing it, and I want to make it available in spring 2021. So thank you very much for visiting my channel, and I am Regina Y. Favors. Have a great day.